Shalom family, this is your Kakia Yasharala coming back again with another banger for you guys. But before we jump in, just want to give all glory and praises to the Most High Yahweh and to His Son Yahweh Shai. You know, this sustainer of life, our banner, our provider, our protector. So, yes, today I have a very important topic for us to discuss, and I'm going to be bringing forth the evidence and bringing a case on why the Bible can be trusted and why the Bible's version of history should be trusted over secular history. And the Bible is the word of the Creator, and today I'm going to be proving that the God of the Bible is the Creator, and the claims of Billy Carson, you know, this false teacher driving people away from the Creator, is actually teaching false doctrine, and you know, can't actually prove how the God of the Bible is Enlil, but he makes that claim. So the God of the Bible is not Enlil, and the God of the Bible is the Creator of heaven and earth, of everything that breathes and everything that's alive, and we're just going to be giving testament of that today. So just want to jump into a video quickly that is just going to show what archaeologists have discovered, and you know, just solidifying some of the history, the biblical history, and some evidence. So with no further ado, just check this out.
Not a real history book. Why don't they let you know what they found in the Grand Canyon, what they found all over America, what they found all over the world for that matter? Check this out. Do you remember reading your Bible in Exodus? Pharaoh gave a decree to kill off every man-child.
And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, Every son that is born ye shall cast into the river, and every daughter ye shall save alive.
Every newborn Hebrew man-child shall die. So let it be written. So let it be done.
People say the Bible's not even a real history book. There shouldn't be any evidence of this, right? Well, I've got some bad news for you, because it happened, and I've got the evidence to prove it. So now, watch this video.
We find a piggy bank filled with coins, ancient coins that date to 300 to 1000 BC, which is crazy how they dated the coins that way.
Yeah.
It's like there's 300 more years until Christ comes, you know? They found like a burial of this, I don't know how they deciphered this, but like a dancer. Her tomb was like adorned with like gifts, tons of beautiful ornaments, wine, rings on her fingers, bells on her toes. They found toys, little children's toys, little carved animals. They find manuscripts, artwork. They find homes filled with beautiful mosaic tiled floors depicting stories of hunting, stories of war. And just when they think they've found everything that they could, they realize that it goes deeper than what they were currently at. What they had discovered was only one city, when in fact they found 6 more cities.
What?
All built on top of each other. So they're going through all of this, and it's a whole 5-year ordeal. One day they find something that they haven't found before, and this one's different from everything else. They find a pot, less of a pot and more of an urn.
Nope.
They open the urn, and inside they find ash and bone. They take out all the bones, and they start laying it out to see what this is. The bones of a human, specifically bones of a baby.
Oh, what the
They document this, they continue digging, and soon after, they find another urn with another set of 1-year-old bones. Keep digging, and another urn, and another urn, and another. 18,000 urns later.
Holy hell.
Each urn containing one child. Something's going on here.
Most students of the Bible know that the name Yahweh is the principal name in the Old Testament by which God reveals himself, and it is the most sacred name. It is sometimes called the Tetragrammaton because it is made up of 4 distinct Hebrew letters. These individual letters are pronounced Yud, He, Vav, He. Yahweh. The Hebrew alphabet is made up of 22 letters. Each Hebrew letter is also assigned a numerical value. The first 10 letters are simply numbered 1 through 10. Then numbers 11 through 19 are numbered by tens. Then the 20th letter is number 200, the 21st is 300, and the 22nd letter of the Hebrew alphabet is numbered number 400. This numbering system of the Hebrew alphabet has been around and in use since the most ancient of days. When the most sacred name of God in the Bible, Yahweh, is examined, we find that its numerical pattern is Yud, number 10, He, number 5, Vav, number 6, and He again, number 5. The pattern is 10, 5, 6, 5. Yud, He, Vav, He, as it is read from right to left in Hebrew. 10, 5, 6, 5. Remember that specific number pattern of God's most sacred name, Yahweh. Ben Stein is an American writer, a lawyer, an actor, and a commentator on political and economic issues. He began his career as a speechwriter for U.S. Presidents Richard Nixon and Gerald Ford before entering the entertainment industry as an actor. Ben Stein co-wrote and starred in the popular 2008 film titled Expelled, No Intelligence Allowed. In that film, Stein sat down with world-renowned atheist Dr. Richard Dawkins. Dawkins is a British evolutionary biologist and a prolific author. He is probably most well known for his criticism of creationism and intelligent design. He is an emeritus fellow of New College, Oxford, and was professor for public understanding of science in the University of Oxford from 1995 to 2008. In Stein's movie, he asked Dr. Dawkins a very interesting question. Dawkins' answer actually shocked much of the atheist world when he admitted there could very well be an intelligent designer, but, he said, in effect, if there is an intelligent designer, he would have surely given us a hint in a very specific way. Listen to what Dr. Dawkins actually said in that interview.
What do you think is the possibility that intelligent design might turn out to be the answer to some issues in genetics or in evolution?
I suppose it's possible that you might find evidence for that if you look at the details of biochemistry, molecular biology. You might find a signature of some sort of designer. And that designer could well be a higher intelligence from elsewhere in the universe. You might find a signature of some sort of designer. You might find a signature of some sort of designer.
Dr. Israel Rubinstein holds a PhD in chemistry from Tel Aviv University in Israel. He's a professor of chemistry with the Department of Materials and Interfaces at Weizmann Institute of Science in Rehovot, Israel. In 1986, Dr. Rubinstein did some very specific research. In the following clip, you'll hear and see Dr. Rubinstein tell you exactly what he was working on and the shocking discovery he made.
כולם איתי כל הפרטים. בשנת אוקטובר 86, כשאתה היית פתק בכותל, או לפני זה, אני חקרתי במכון ויצמן בתור רופא. הייתי מדען במכון ויצמן, וחקרתי את ה-DNA של חולדות, עכברים, קופים ובני אדם. 18,000 רקמות של כבד, כליות, שרירים, גם עיניים, האיריס שבתוך העיניים. קיבלתי רקמות ובדקתי אותם במיקרוסקופ האלקטרוני. לידכם, ילדים, המיקרוסקופ האופטי, שאתה מסתכל ככה, מגדיל 10,000. המיקרוסקופ האלקטרוני מגדיל 1,000,000 פעם. אתה נכנס למפנוך של החומר. מיקרוסקופ האלקטרוני זה לא ככה, זה מחשב גדול, ענק, טלוויזיה, ואתה רואה, מה שהוא רואה ומראה לך, זה אתה. סבבה, מדע, לא דת, מדע. ויש תוכנה במחשב שמדברת איתי. מה קורה פיזיולוגית? שהסיר לא יתפוצץ, לא ייפתח, אומר לי שמדי פעם, sometimes, התוכנה באנגלית, יש גשר של גופרית, שעושה שהסיר לא ייפתח. זאת אומרת, הגשר, שמחזיק את הסליל, יפה, מחזיק אותו. שאלתי שאלה של $1,000, שימו לב. שאלתי את המחשב, מתי מופיע הגשר? אז המחשב אומר לי, שיש חומצות נוקלאידיות על הבסיס של הסליל. יש 4 חומצות, אדנין, טימין, ציטוסין, גואנילין, ATCG, שזה החומצות הנוקלאידיות שבסליל. זה עובדה מדעית. והגשר של גופרית, סולפורו, הופיע ככה. כל 10 חומצות גשר, כל 5 חומצות גשר, כל 6 חומצות גשר, כל 5 חומצות גשר. אמרתי, מה? גשר של גופרית שגורם שהסליל לא ייפתח. אמרתי, בא. ילדים, מה זה 10, 5, 6, 5? גימטריה של י' ה' ו' ה'. תתה בתוך ה-DNA. כמו רמברנט, שעושה ציור וכותב למטה, רמברנט, אני עשיתי אותך. תתה חתם את החתימה שלו, את השם שלו, בתאים שלך, בכל הגוף.
In the court legal system, if you have enough circumstantial evidence, somebody can go to jail, right? Right. So there's enough circumstantial evidence, somebody has left behind a signature on creation, all right? Analyzing the human body, the distance between the top of your nose and the bottom of your lip, and between the 2 eyes and between your ears, and the distance from your elbow to the wrist, it all also exhibits aspects of the golden ratio and the Fibonacci sequence. There's a book that I have called the Sefer Raya. It's a very small text, a very ancient text. In this text, it has in there a special coding system written into the text. And a researcher and author was able to, with a group of scientists, decipher the code and match those numbers that were associated with letters to the atomic structures on all the different elements that make up the human body. And what they found was the same thing as the golden ratio, which is like a signature.
Oh wait, pause. That's just where I want to say pause. So what is a signature? A signature is something that is unique and that is an identifier. So an artist will put a signature on his creation or his artwork and something that he's proud of and that he wants to put his stamp on, you know, like to be like, yes, this is my work of art and this is what I'm proud of creating. Now, if there is a signature in creation which shows single identification or like, you know, personality and individuality, then how can Billy Carson then in the one moment then be admitting there's a signature in creation and then in the next moment turn around and say that the God of the Bible is Enlil? This nigga then blasphemy. Now this is what everybody's fan club favorite Billy Boy Carson was referring to, the signature of creation, which is the name of the Most High, which is in all creation. So he's blaspheming and bearing false witness, saying that the name, saying that he's following the Creator, and then at the same time saying that the God of the Bible is Enlil. So this guy is getting millions of followers and deceiving masses of people, masses of our people. And if I'm going to be the only defense against this guy's lies, I'm going to put up everything, man. Because this guy's telling lies and pulling people away from the truth of the Most High. But also just here's also more evidence of the fingerprints of the Most High, which the name of the Most High also adds up to the number 26. You can also see some, you know, instances of the fingerprints of the Most High, like the adult vertebra has 26 bones. The thorax also has 26 bones. Each foot has 26 bones. The skull has 26 bones too. And yeah, like I can also go on, but then it also says here of the dimensions as well of our DNA. Like our DNA is, each DNA strand is 26 what is this, 26 nanometers apart, and also 26 nanometers wide as well. So it's also showing those sacred and dynamic proportions. And then as well, when you write out the like DNA as well, the the chemical formula and the carbon bonds. It also spells out the name of the Most High. So, I mean, how much evidence more? Like, who is gonna put his signature other than? Is it a coincidence? Let me put it like this: is it a coincidence that the signature of creation is found in the Bible? No, it's not a coincidence. The signatures of creation can only be found in the Bible and no other text, which also proves that the God of the Bible is the God of all creation, that created heaven and earth and everything else. And if I'm wrong, I challenge anyone else to prove me wrong. Show us any other ancient text that contains the signature of creation, the name of the Most High, everything, this Fibonacci sequence, the golden ratio, all of these things are all contained within the Torah. So also another piece of nugget that I also want to take a look at is this right here. I'm going to show you right now. So check out this scripture here, Psalms 50:6. Let everything that hath breath praise Yah, praise ye Yahweh. Wow, now that's quite interesting, that everything that breathes praise Yah. So let's see if there is some truth to that. Now, also find it quite interesting that many sages have claimed that the name of the Most High are breathing consonants. And actually, according to research and according to these sages, they claim that when we breathe, we say the Most High's name, the consonants of the Most High's name as we breathe. So just check this out. It's quite interesting as well.
Constant pi to the first verse of Torah in its original Hebrew language support the claim that Torah is divine? Judge for yourself. The constant pi plays an important role in both math and the sciences. According to documented history from different cultures and societies around the world, the most anyone knew 2,000 years ago about pi was less than 5 digits and less than 10 digits 1,000 years ago. Torah language does not contain digits. Instead, each letter of the Hebrew alphabet has a numerical value assigned to it, in accordance with the sequence of the Hebrew alphabet. Adding up the values of the letters in a word gives us the gematria value of the word. The default numerical value is called regular gematria. The next most commonly used or known value is small gematria, which is the same as regular gematria, only without zeros. Examples of gematria number systems may be found in the Talmud and other Jewish texts. The Hebrew word Torah has a regular gematria value of 611. The first verse of the Hebrew Torah has a regular gematria value of 2,701. Presenting pi's first 611 digits after the decimal point. Adding these 611 seemingly arbitrary digits of pi together, 1 plus 4 plus 1 plus 5, and so on, gives 2,701. The Hebrew word Torah has a small gematria value of 17. The first verse of the Hebrew Torah has a small gematria value of 82. Presenting pi's first 17 digits after the decimal point. Remarkably, adding these 17 digits together gives 82. Moreover, the consecutive 17 digits, right after the 611th digit, add up to 82 yet again. Therefore, the regular and small gematria values of the first verse of the Hebrew Torah, 2,701 and 82, have a perfect mirror image in pi's decimal digits. Presenting pi's first 82 digits after the decimal point, with each digit multiplied by itself, or squared, The first 82 decimal digits of pi, each squared, add up to exactly 2,701. This is a reflection, yet again, of the regular and small gematria values of the first verse of Hebrew Torah, 2,701 and 82. The first verse of the Hebrew Torah has 7 words and a total of 28 letters. The sum of the first 7 decimal digits of pi is 28. Additionally, it was discovered that the initials, the first letter of each word of the first verse of the Hebrew Torah, have an average value of 3.14. The probability for these matches to occur in a randomly selected book has been calculated by computers, and it is virtually impossible to get such matches by random. It is estimated that there are less than 200 million books in the world. This means there are not enough books in the world for such matches to occur in a randomly selected book, as a conservative probability value for such matches to occur in a randomly selected book is 1 to 1 quadrillion. That is 5 million times the estimated amount of books in the world. These findings are not found in an arbitrary book or a random word sequence. No, these findings are found in the most influential book in the history of mankind, the original Hebrew Bible. Right at the first verse, the first and main statement of the 10 statements by which the Creator created the world. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
So this is called the Mystery Stone, also known as the Las Lunas Stone as well. Found in Mexico, they're known as the 10 Commandments in ancient Hebrew. So this is one thing that your favorite, these Negroes' favorite, your Billy Boy Carson won't be able to show you actual ancient artifacts of these stones and tablets, ancient emerald tablets, which he claims to have seen. So, with no further ado, just check this out.
I forgot a commandment. I just went from delivery from from Egypt and the house of bondages, and or slaves or whatever, servants, the house of servants. And I started right into not making yourself a idol, I started right into that. And then he realizes somewhere along the line, at what point? It looks like he continued to write. Not to take up, not to uphold. Et, down here, that's missing, the aleph is gone, the ta is there. Et Shem, Yahweh, the name of the Lord. Don't take up the name of the Lord. Yeshua, for not. Or to nothing. Don't take it up to nothing. To vanity. To or for.
When you look up information about this stone, even Esau says that the name Yahweh is written on it, but they say Yahweh. The Israelite God, they say Yahweh, which is not his true name. His true name is Yahweh.
But the name of the Most High is a fearful thing in the mouth of the heathen. Why they don't say his name?
I think it's here.
That's it.
Yeah, this is it. Yahweh. Yahweh. That's it, man. So crazy that I found it, man. It's over here. Yahweh. Crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
This is the YHWH. But it says that it has, they say it has more, it's like written on it 5 times.
So this is also known as the Dead Sea Scrolls, or the which was found in the Qumran caves, known as so-called Jewish manuscripts, but this was also dubbed as the most important archaeological find of the 20th century, also validating the ancientness of the Hebrew scriptures and how far it goes back in humanity and in human history. Here's also an Ethiopian Bible as well, which is the oldest Bible in the world today, and found in Africa as well, which also dispels this whole notion that our people have that, the Bible is a European book or was brought to us by Europeans because we always had it and it was always our history book. But nonetheless, that using Gentiles to bring out this information, but nonetheless, just hear what this professor also has to say when he did his research on the Hebrew language, and just take a look at this.
Whenever 2 sets of data are aligned near to a straight line and statistical analysis indicates a linear relationship between the 2 sets, this implies that the 2 sets represent measurement of same physical property, only on different measuring scales. Is it possible that numerical values of biblical Hebrew words represent physical properties of the objects that they stand for, just as we have witnessed with measuring temperature by 2 different thermometers? Let us examine the credibility of this hard-to-believe proposition. We start with a simple example and take the 3 Hebrew words for moon, earth, sun, namely Yareach, Eretz, Shemesh. On the horizontal axis, we mark the numeric values of the Hebrew words. On the vertical axis, the diameters of these celestial objects. On a log scale, a widely used scientific scale for representing a set of measures or set of numbers that differ by order of magnitude. We obtain the following plot. This is indeed stunning. We realize that the points are aligned on a straight line with a linear correlation of 0.999. If the points were calculated from a mathematical equation of a straight line, we would have obtained a correlation of 1.000, and here 0.999. According to the general conclusion we have reached earlier, this configuration of points indicates that the 2 axes represent the same physical property, namely diameter, only on the 2 different scales. On the horizontal axis, the Hebrew numerical value scale, H and V scale. On the vertical axis, the scientific scale, representing actual physical measurements as submitted, for example, by NASA. Is this the only example available? Not at all. This example is not singular, neither is it unique. In fact, it represents a generally prevalent property of biblical Hebrew words where their numerical values are related to a major physical property shared by all objects that the words stand for. In my research about the Bible and biblical Hebrew, numerous other instances containing 4 or 5 or even 9 points have been described. The results are consistent with those shown for moon, earth, sun. The points in the plot are aligned near a straight line. These results are summarized in my book, Coincidences in the Bible and in Biblical Hebrew, freely available as a PDF file on my personal blog, and animated in an hour-long movie produced by Mr. Oren Evron and posted on YouTube. Let us see a few more examples. We take two related trios of words: stillness or silence, sound, light, in Hebrew, dmama, call, or, and the second trio, stillness, silence, thunder, rainbow, in Hebrew, dmama, ram, keshet. Surprisingly, dmama in Hebrew means both lack of movement, standstill, but also silence. On the vertical axis, we mark the speed of light, the speed of sound, and speed of zero, no movement, again on a log scale. Here are the plots of these two trios of words. Obviously, the points are aligned on a straight line. The last example relates to the planets and their respective masses. On the horizontal axis, we mark the numerical values of the Hebrew biblical names for the planets, and on the vertical axis, the mass of the planets in kilogram, again on a log scale. Again, a linear relationship is in full view. You may now ask, perhaps such alignment of points near a straight line is highly likely to occur by random with biblical Hebrew words. Maybe there is nothing unusual or even extraordinary about these results. To check this claim, I've conducted a large-scale simulation study on the computer. In this study, I've programmed the computer to artificially generate, by random, thousands of trios of words like the three words in the first three examples. The computer was programmed to ensure that Hebrew letters are randomly drawn according to their proportion of appearance in the Jewish Hebrew Bible. For example, the second letter in the alphabet, bet, appears 5.4% in the Bible. Therefore, the probability that the computer would select this letter to be included in any artificially generated word would also be 5.4%. Once these samples of thousands of artificial trios of words had been generated, the computer counted how many trios of words aligned themselves near to a straight line, similarly to what we have actually observed with the original Hebrew words. For example, what percentage of words delivered a plot similar to the plot of the first example, the example with the moon, earth, and sun. A consistent result kept resurfacing. The likelihood of a configuration.
I think that's some amazing information, fam. I think that any person that understands anything about statistics, about mathematics, and about science at this point has to, consider or pause or investigate further, because, as what the professor showed, that the Hebrew words describe the physical properties. The Hebrew words for specific objects describe the physical properties as well in reality, and not just in one sense, but in some instances up to 9, 10, 11 instances on one object, how the Hebrew word and its numerical value show evidences and equations that add up to its physical properties. So I think that is pretty significant. So this next thing that I want us to look at is also the one of the oldest Bibles. Last year was sold for about $38 million, and I think that is also quite significant, because who will spend $38 million on a book that's fiction, that doesn't contain truth. So this next slide that I want us to take a look at is in 1810, the English Navy took the French Caribbean island of Guadeloupe, bringing a considerable haul of loot back to England. This collection included a big slab of stone held by the French that included an uncommon feature, a human skeleton enclosed within the rock. There were some issues regarding how this skeleton got into what was characterized as hard, impenetrable rock from roughly 25 million years ago, a time period when there were no contemporary humans on Earth. Wow. Now I think this is very, very significant, like a major archaeological discovery that most people will not hear about in mainstream, or you will be taught about in your schools, because obviously this completely destroys the theory and the notion of evolution, and this would cause most people to review their history. But of course most people, they won't do that because they're stuck in a delusion and they love the lie. There's also another archaeological or fossil find of the oldest octopus fossil, which is about 92 million years old, predating the dinosaurs. As you can clearly see, there's no evolution that has taken place, absolutely none. But that's also another lie, the million of the age of the Earth. The so-called scientists, they always push it back to those kind of dates to cause confusion. But here's also another interesting find in the gematria of the Bible, the numerology. There are 7 Hebrew words in the first verse of Genesis. The verse is broken down into two main parts, and both of those parts are multiples of 7, which is 24, because the entire verse consists of 28 letters, and the nouns add up to a multiple of 7, and the single verb adds up to a multiple of 7. So you have three leading nouns of the Most High, God, heaven and earth, also add up to 7. So there are just 7 ways of how the number 7 is encoded just within the first verse of the Hebrew scriptures. So it says here, the value of the first and the last of all the words add up to a multiple of 7. Actually, 31 different features of the number 7 have been deduced just from this one verse. Damn, that's that's like statistical and mathematical and numerical brilliance. There's no way like a human being could have, encoded that into a text, thousands of years ago. It's just impossible. And here's also just another proof as well that the Earth is not millions of years old. The scientists have discovered in 2003 soft tissue and blood clot and cartilage and collagen of dinosaurs, which is another major problem for secular scientists, and which you also won't be taught in secular schools or your school systems, because this is the information that they want to hide from you, because they want you thinking that the Earth is billions of years old, so that they can convince you that you came from a rock and that you're basically nothing and you just matter, but we're spirit essentially. And here's also another proof as well. The Most High put the truth and the proof right in front of our faces, and it's all around in nature. Like here, scientists have to admit most established shallow water coral reefs are 5,000 to 10,000 years old. And it says here a colony of black coral was determined to be 4,265 years old and are the oldest known marine organisms. So, if those are the oldest known marine organisms, damn, that just shows you that that's probably the age of the Earth, because it's the evidence left in biology. It's what we can prove, it's what we can know. Here's also another evidence as well. Here's a tree called Prometheus, Great Basin in Bristolstone Pine in a peak in Nevada. dated to be about 4,900 years old in the 1960s. And here's another one, that's 4,853 years old in early California, Great Basin, bristlecone pine. So all of this, what it just proves is that if the oldest trees date back to about 5,000 or 4,000 years, then it proves that the earth is young, because I mean, those are the oldest like living things on earth, like trees, you know. Some trees have not been chopped down. For example, California redwoods and, you know, some of the rainforests contains the oldest trees, and they estimated that the germination period was in about 3,000, the early to mid 3,000 BCs. So there's no way that you can prove with evidence that the earth is billions of years old. Everything that is alive shows that the earth is but a couple thousand years old. According to NASA's own calculations, that the earliest recorded eclipse in human history, they dated at about 3,340 BC. So those are the things that we can actually calculate and date, and there's nothing that goes, you know, in human that we can prove to date back further than that, placing the earth at about 5,000 years old, which would mean that everything in the scriptures is true, and that the biblical account of history is true, and that there actually was a great flood. And this also might explain why the Bible is illegal in 52 countries or banned in 52 countries in the world. You know, I don't know Cinderella or any fairy tale book that's banned. The only thing that I know that gets banned is the truth. So this is essentially the conundrum that we're dealing with here, with people that are false prophets and teaching lies on the Bible, like, you know, people's fanboy favorite Billy Carson, talking about these emerald tablets, but it can't show you actual tablets, you know, that's ancient or that dates back, or, you know, actual tablets proving their significance. One doesn't even have to do a really deep dive to see that no actual tablets have never been found. So up to today, we can't say that they exist. But hey, guess what? Actual tablets with the 10 commandments of the scriptures, which the Bible come from, have been found. And these things are ancient. You know, some people date them to the early, late BCs, early ADs. Well, irregardless, here's still proof that it's ancient and significant in human history, dating way back before colonization, before, you know, the so-called white man learned how to crawl on all fours or learn to walk on feet, crawling out of the caves. But this is essentially what we need to turn back to. Stand in the company of the elders, to stand close to whosoever is wise. You know, and this is essentially what this is, the holy book of the Most High, the living word, the word that controls all things, otherwise known as the book of life. You know, so to recap on what we took a look at, you know, how the name of the Most High is encoded in our DNA, and how the name of the Most High 26, his blueprint, is encoded all over our DNA and all over the human body. The golden ratio and the Fibonacci sequence and all these divine proportions are all mirrored within the holy texts, as well as pi as well. And that is quite significant, because it's thousands of years before human beings ever went past 100 digits of pi. The first 611 digits past the decimal was already encoded within the Torah, making that humanly impossible that, you know, humans gave us, or that the text came about through human means, man. These are the divine words of the living power. And with that, I'm going to give all glory and praises to the Most High. I'm going to say shalom to all.
Yeah, trying to get in that book of life. But I had to repent cause I won't live in right. Gotta make haste cause ain't no coming back. Once you cross over to the other side, no way. I'm trying to get in that book of life. Had to repent cause I won't live in right. Had to make haste cause ain't no coming back. Once you cross over to the other side, no way, no way, no way. Hey, I see that we at the end. How they gon' act like it ain't what it is? I be in Luke chapter 21. I see the signs, Yasha made it clear. Shadiah told me don't feed in the propaganda. I can already see it. My Akakami wide awake. All of my brews right here. Yeah, yeah, yeah.